We finally made it, Raider Nation. Today is the day. Training camp officially kicks off, and if you're anything like me, your excitement is through the roof. After months of waiting, speculating, debating every possible roster scenario, it's finally time to talk about football that actually matters. Not projections, not mock drafts, not just what-ifs. Real Raiders football is back, and the road to the season starts now. Now listen. The offseason is great and all we get to break things down, talk potential, analyze every move like it's life or death, but nothing compares to the energy that comes with the first day of camp. It's like the heartbeat of the season starts here, and for the Raiders, this training camp might be one of the most important ones we've had in a long time. New faces, a new direction, and a front office that's clearly trying to reset the culture and build something sustainable. And just to clarify for anyone still hanging onto the idea, no, the Raiders will not be holding camp in Napa this year. I know, Napa brings back a lot of memories, that old school vibe, the isolation, the throwback feel, but it's Henderson, Nevada this year. The veterans will officially report on July 22nd, but the rookies? They're already hitting the field. Today marks the start for the young guns trying to make a name for themselves. Now, why not Napa? I've heard the whispers. I've seen the rumors online, and here's the deal. The fields in Napa need serious upgrades. We're talking about NFL-level infrastructure that just isn't there right now. And when you're trying to build a team culture, when you're installing a brand new system, bringing in new leadership, every detail matters. Pete Carroll and his staff want the squad to stay together, build chemistry, and keep everything tight and focused. Having the entire operation in Henderson just makes more sense for the logistics, for the training schedule, and honestly, for the health of the players. No crazy travel, no unnecessary stress, just ball. But that doesn't mean Nap is out of the picture forever. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a return down the line. It's definitely still part of the Raiders' DNA. And the fact that people are still asking about it shows how much it meant to the fan base. For now, though, it's all about Henderson. That's home base. And with rookies hitting the field today, it's time to dive into the players you absolutely need to keep your eyes on. Let me start with this training camp is more than just preparing for the season. It's where stories are written. It's where careers are made or broken. And this rookie class, it's one of the more intriguing ones we've had in years. There's a real mix of high upside talent, under-the-radar gems, and a couple guys who could push for serious roles right out the gate. Kicking things off with Charles Grant. This dude had a monster year in college, earning a PFF grade north of 90. That's elite. He's an offensive tackle with all the tools you want: size, length, power. But here's the thing, the NFL is a different beast. The coaching staff is going to watch him closely to see just how far along he really is. And let's not ignore the Colton Miller situation. No extension yet. Maybe they want to see what they have in Grant first. If Grant steps up and proves he's the guy, that could have ripple effects on how the team approaches Miller's contract. But if he looks raw and not ready, that extension might suddenly move up the priority list. Next up, Laki Tassi. Yeah, I know some of y'all haven't heard the name much yet. He's the International Pathway Program player, originally brought in as a defensive lineman and then moved to offensive guard. That kind of switch doesn't happen unless the staff sees something special. The kid's a physical freak, no question. And while he's still super raw, he's one of those guys you just can't ignore in camp. Plus, since the Raiders can stash him on the practice squad without using a roster spot, it's a low-risk, high-upside situation. I'll be paying attention to every rep he takes. Cody Lindenberg is another guy I'm watching like a hawk. 7th round pick, but don't let that fool you. This kid's been getting serious looks. He wore the green dot in minicamp, which basically means he was calling the plays on defense. That's huge for a rookie, especially one drafted that late. The competition between him and Tommy Eichenberg is going to be intense. One of those two might not make the final roster, and right now, it feels like Lindenberg has the edge. And considering the depth chart at linebacker, Jermaine Pratt, Elandon Roberts, Dorian White, it's gonna be tight. You've got maybe one or two open spots left. A strong camp from Lindenberg might push Eichenberg or Gainer out. And just to throw this out there, his dad's a big-time Raider supporter, so if the kid makes it, you already know that family is gonna be rocking with us hard. Then there's Joyner. Look, this guy wasn't drafted, but don't let that fool you. He's got something. I said it a month ago, out of all the UDFA letters, Joyner might have the best shot at making the team. He's got that Malcolm Kuntz type of skill set, not elite, against the run, but if you let him pin his ears back and go after the quarterback, he can make noise. Think of him as a situational pass rusher. And if this defensive line group stays deep like they usually do, Joyner might sneak in as one of those last defensive end spots. Let's talk about one of the more fun players in camp, Tommy Mellott. This guy does it all: quarterback, wide receiver, returner, special teams ace. He's the definition of a Swiss Army knife, and I'll be honest, I think he's going to win over a lot of coaches in camp. He's just that kind of guy. Hustles on every play, will do whatever you ask. If you told him to go long snap, he'd probably do it. But here's the question: how do the Raiders plan to use him? If he's just a returner, that puts pressure on Dylan Lobb. Because if it comes down to Mellott versus Lobb for one roster spot, I'm betting the team goes with the guy who offers more versatility. And that might just be Tommy. Now before we go any further, I gotta say this: everybody loves talking about the top draft picks, but don't sleep on the guys taken in rounds 4 through 7. Tonka Hemingway, for example, 4th round pick, hasn't made a ton of noise yet. But that doesn't mean he won't. The staff sees potential. He's one of those tweener types, can play inside or outside depending on the package, but he needs to grow. Same with J.J. Pegas, who was picked 2 rounds later. They've got the right mindset, they're doing the work, but the jump to the NFL takes time. The big question is whether they'll get enough snaps early to carve out a role behind guys like John Jenkins or Zach Carter, and this is where things start to heat up. We're entering that tier of rookies who could actually make an impact this season, maybe even start. Jack Beck is one of them. This kid plays like a veteran, sure. He's been overshadowed a bit this offseason by Dante Thornton Jr., but don't let that fool you. Beck is reliable. He blocks well. He runs crisp routes. He's the kind of player coaches trust. Think of him as a potential replacement for Jacoby Myers. That might sound wild, but if the front office sees Beck developing quickly, they might hesitate before handing Myers a big money extension. Why pay $20 million when you've got a younger, cheaper version already in-house? And of course, there's Darian Porter, cornerback, absolute burner, long arms, great instincts, and a high football IQ. He's gonna get a shot to start on the outside. He's been compared to guys Pete Carroll's worked with in the past, and that alone should get your attention. He's battling against Eric Stokes and Jacorian Bennett for reps. If he holds his own, or even outplays those guys in camp, we're talking about a potential breakout candidate. But hey, let me pause right here. You already know who's coming. Up next, the final stretch, the top-tier rookies everyone's watching. But I'll save that for the next section. Before I dive into the top 3, let me just say this training camp is where we separate the noise from the truth. All the hype, all the expectations, it means nothing if you can't perform. And these rookies, they're about to find out exactly what it takes to be a Raider in the National Football League. So now that we've covered the underdogs, the sleepers, and the rookies flying a little under the radar, it's time to turn our attention to the big dogs, the top tier. The 3 rookies that have the entire fan base buzzing and that every coach will be watching like a hawk during training camp. These are the guys expected not just to make the team, but to contribute, potentially even change the trajectory of the season. Let's start with a name that's rising fast: Dante Thornton Jr. Dante is not your average 4th round pick. From the moment he stepped on the field, there was something different. The size, the speed, the way he moves, fluid, explosive, with a gear most receivers don't have. He led all of college football in yards per catch last year, averaging over 25 yards every time he touched the ball. That's not just production, that's danger. He's the kind of vertical threat that can shift an entire defensive game plan. And get this, some scouts have compared his athletic profile to Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf. Now, I'm not saying he's at that level yet, but when you're being mentioned in the same breath as guys like that, people are going to pay attention. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Las Vegas may be heating up for more than just the summer sun. NFL circles are buzzing with whispers that Christian McCaffrey, one of the league's most electric running backs, could be making his way to the desert to suit up in silver and black. Though nothing has been officially confirmed by team sources, speculation exploded after McCaffrey was reportedly spotted dining in a high-end Vegas steakhouse alongside key members of the Raiders front office. McCaffrey, who has been a cornerstone for the San Francisco for 9 years since his blockbuster trade from Carolina, is widely regarded as one of the most versatile offensive weapons in football. His combination of speed, agility, and pass-catching ability redefined the running back role in recent years, making him an every-down threat that defensive coordinators dread. Now, the rumor mill suggests that the Raiders are making an aggressive move to acquire the star back, possibly to spark a new era under their evolving offensive leadership. With uncertainty still looming in the backfield following Josh Jacobs' departure and inconsistent performances from younger backs, McCaffrey could bring instant credibility and explosiveness to a team looking to climb out of mediocrity. Some league insiders believe this potential acquisition is part of a broader plan to reshape the Raiders' identity, one that balances power with finesse, youth with veteran savvy. And while salary cap constraints and draft capital could complicate a possible deal, that hasn't stopped fans from dreaming big. Social media lit up with mock-ups of McCaffrey in a Raiders jersey, and Vegas sportsbooks briefly adjusted their odds, reflecting the potential shift in AFC West power dynamics. Is it a done deal? Not yet, but where there's smoke in the NFL, there's often fire. And if McCaffrey truly is Las Vegas bound, the Raiders might just be assembling something far more dangerous than anyone anticipated. For now, it's just a murmur in the wine, but don't be surprised if it turns into a full-blown desert storm. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.